started riding bikes at the age of 2, motocross at 6, and stacked up 20 years experience riding motocross and enduro. Then the switch came in 2023, where he transferred to circuit racing and completed all his licenses in 1 year. By 2024, Grant was on the roads, winning the Southern 100 600 B race and making waves in the challenge race. Now, in 2025, he's won the junior and senior classic superbike races at the Pre-TT, competed in the Southern 100, and is now gearing up, ready for the Manx Grand Prix, which is extremely exciting. Right, let's get into it. How's things, Grant?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Mega. Absolutely mega. Talk me through a little bit about how things have been going.
It's been going pretty well, to be fair. You know, we've had a pretty successful, start to the year, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the road side of things, and you know, circuit racing's going just as well. And you know, we are getting better each time and making moves on things. So you know, we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel like it's all starting to come into fruition and starting to all just play out the way you suspected it to be?
I didn't expect any of what's gone on already.
Oh, really?
To basically happen.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, riding as a kid, you know, I was racing motocross and enduro and trials and supermoto. You know, everything was pretty chill. You know, wasn't really much going on. And then when we made the switch to the circuit racing, everything come round pretty quick. You know, I didn't expect half of it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm very grateful for what I've achieved and what I've been given at this time. So it's all moving very quickly.
Yeah, no, that's it. That can be the thing, isn't it? It's just all of a sudden you found your click, you found your mojo, almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting talking about the motocross and supermoto and all those sorts of things. Just take me back, and I want to sort of grasp your first memories on a bike. Who got you into it? Who was that influential character maybe that you looked up to as a young lad that started all of this madness that's now going ahead?
When I was 2.5, you know, Santa brought me a quad.
Yeah.
And I still remember
Yeah.
going downstairs that Christmas morning and seeing the quad sat there.
Yeah.
When we used to live out in Ponyfields, I always remember the quad got wheeled out the back door, and then it was bobbing around the estate Christmas Day. You know, that was pretty much it. But biggest one for me is, you know, my cousin Andy. He's always obviously been into bikes and stuff like that, and he did a little bit of racing up Derby.
Mm-hmm.
He did it for a couple of years before he fully went for, you know, being a mechanical time on them. But obviously, when you were a little lad watching your cousin do this, you know, he had a bit of a motocross bike, he had bits and bobs, you know, he just used to play around on them. But I spent pretty much most of my childhood up at Derby with him, or when we started racing motocross at 6, you know, that was pretty much the full introduction to it all.
And that's where it sort of all started.
Yeah, so it was from a young age, literally a very young age.
Just pinning it around motocross tracks.
All the time. It was, it took me a few years, let's say, at least, as a young lad racing motocross, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't very good, and I'll be dead honest with that.
Yeah, as a young fella or as an adult?
As a young fella, you know what? You see all the boys that I like race with now, and back in the day when we were obviously younger, I just used to pot around. I just used to cruise around, have fun, something to do for a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it was mint.
Happy as a pig in shit, as they
Literally.
say.
Literally.
Or sand up there, isn't
Yeah.
it? What does sand teach you, man? Sand's hard to ride. I know, like a bit of motocross with me and Herb were younger, and sand is really quite individual when it comes to riding, isn't it?
It's quite a difficult one to learn, like 100%. It's probably one of the hardest things to learn, because the bike doesn't sit still at all.
Very true.
You go into a corner too deep, you're going to crash because the front's going to get buried. You know, it takes years to learn it all.
Yeah. Experience sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Without that, you know, you're not. You're going to be stuck building sandcastles all the time.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? And experience, you can't buy experience, can you?
You can't.
It's just time, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got to put the effort in. And obviously, as a young lad, when I was doing it, like, I didn't practice or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to the races. So
every Sunday or every other Sunday?
Every other Sunday, you know, me and my mum would go racing, and you think to yourself, why am I not getting much better at this? but you're not actually practicing. You're just racing.
That's interesting. How important is practice to you now? Now you are where you are. Do you try to get as much sort of training time on the bike as possible?
Oh, massively. You know, depending on how far you want to take it, depending on how serious you want to do it. So, if you just want to go out on a Sunday and have some fun, then yeah.
Up a Derby there, do you mean?
Yeah. Then obviously you can just practice away, but it's harder to go practicing on the road bikes than anything else, because you can't just rock up to the track and ride. It has to be a scheduled event.
Why is that?
It's just the way it all runs, because obviously it's got to go through insurance and the ACU and everything like that, so you can't just rock up and ride your bike. So when there's no road racing on or circuit racing, 90% of the time on my trials bike.
Oh, you find the trials bike is the best way for practicing for the road?
All winter. All I've done...
Really?
Laxey Mines all winter. I've been up there on the trials bike. That has been my winter training. I've done bits of motocross.
Yeah.
You know, I did a bit at the start of the year, and then it gets to like March time when the road racing starts. That gets put away, because that's where I get hurt. That's where I get hurt. I got hurt last year. Week after the Southern. Just done the Southern. Gone down Turkey Land for a little mess around. Looped out off the back. Tore ligaments and tendons in my foot.
That's handy.
So, the start of the year...
But why does the trials bike, do you feel, is the best comparative machine for road racing?
Obviously, boys will say the motocross and that, and which that is great. I struggle with the motocross, obviously doing it as a kid, and I just do it for fun now, you know, for a bit of a laugh and...
Pin the hole off it.
Yeah, rock up with your mates, have a laugh, go home. Whereas I find the trials bike, like I really enjoy the trials bike. All the technical stuff, the bike constantly moving around, you know, there's nothing that really goes on a trials bike where you just sat in a straight line. You know, you're constantly moving, fighting with it, and
control almost, isn't it?
Yeah, bike control. That is the massive thing.
On
bike
the
control,
old throttle, like
throttle, the clutch, braking. You know.
Yeah.
I found it massively helping.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, when you're on the road, like I've never let myself loose on the road bike. I don't think it's for me. I just don't think I've got the control for it. But how twitchy are those bikes when you're riding them? Obviously, a motocross bike in sand, you can rev the whole off her.
Yeah, yeah.
And she ain't going to really go anywhere because she's in a foot of sand. Whereas on those road bikes, like after the Southern Under that's just gone by, which we'll touch on soon, I don't want to pick your brain on how twitchy those bikes actually are when you're riding them. Like, if you pull the throttle back a little too far, is she just going to wheelie on you?
No. It's the first time I threw my leg over one at the end of 22. The first time I rode in it.
Yeah.
I could not figure out what was going on. You go into a corner, you're off the side of the bike, you're cranked over, and you have all this grip. And you're like, just coming from motocross background or enduro background, you're going into a corner and you're waiting for the bike to slide.
Yeah.
But the bike's gripping. And it's like...
Right.
It's a confusing thing to get your head around, like massively. Obviously, as you go faster, you feel the bike to move. Like today, Derby, dead hot.
Yeah.
Boiling. The track goes greasy because it's that hot. It's bringing out all the chemicals in the tarmac. So
it goes greasier in the heat.
Yeah.
I thought it would get grippier because the tyres are softer.
It goes grippier, but once it goes too hot, no.
Game over.
It's slippy. Like today we were going onto the back straight. I was having a good battle in the big bike race, and we were literally going through onto the back straight sideways.
Really? A big old kicker, like?
Literally, you go through, you're on your knee, like you're fully on your knee, at near enough 100% throttle, and you're sliding. The track's here, and we were going past the white line.
Sort of drifting almost.
Drifting, pretty much drifting across the track.
And then how does she come back up again?
You've got to fight it. You've
like lean back the other way.
Well, no, because if you lean the other way, you're going to go off a track. So you've sort of got to try and pull it back across with your arms while going forward.
With your arms, what are you doing with the throttle at
You're
that
still
point?
on it. You haven't even shut off. You're still on the
flat
bike.
out.
Yeah. The whole way.
Right. And how long did you think that took you to get your head around that, Grant? Because that is like you say that That's not something I'm familiar with. That really.
No, it took me. So obviously I had my first go on it in 22 at a track day, and it took me a good 3 or 4 times out on track to figure out what was going on and how it worked, and it was a lot to take in.
Right.
It was horrible.
And what, I want to know what sparked that swinging your leg over, as you like to say.
Yeah, well, I'd helped a mate of mine, Frankie Stennett, helping him. He'd been doing road racing and everything like that. And I always talked about it with Mum, and she was like, "No, you're not doing it. You're never doing it," and that's that. And I was like, right, okay. And then it was after the Manx Grand Prix 2022. Like, I've done all the bike stuff, and it was the last thing that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go road racing. And I said to Mum, I was like, I want to go road racing. So she goes, right, okay, well, if you want to do it, you do it when you're on your own. Like, I'm not helping you. And I was like,
right.
All right.
How long did that take to change?
Week after I said that, there was a bike in the garage. Slight argument over it.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 weeks after, I was going to the first track day up at Derby.
Yeah.
Dead excited, woke up in the morning, walked downstairs, sat there. You're not going on your own. She's not missed one yet.
Really?
Honestly. Same with the
But how important is that support for you? It actually gives me a little tingle at your mother's support and you like that. That's imperative, isn't it?
Yeah, it is massive. You know, I've got her backing me, and I've got Mrs. Immy.
Yeah.
You know, she said it to me, to be fair. When I said that I wanted to do it, she said, if you're going to do it, you need to do it now. This is your time that you need to do it.
Yeah, not when you got kids and that, eh?
You need to go. So if you want to do it, then I suggest you pull your finger out and do it. So I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And then between the pair of them, you know, they've been up and down the UK with me everywhere. We'd be going away. It could just be us three in the van, or it could just be me and me mum, or me and Immy. You know, it's
but that support is so important, isn't it?
It's massive.
I mean, it's almost a bit of clarity that people actually agree that you can do it and believe in you as well.
Yeah, 100%. To have the backing with it and the support to go through with it, it is a massive help. No,
100%. So let's just fast forward a little bit to 2024 then, when things really started to get spicy and we started getting on the road. What was that? What was that first? You're lining up, I can only really sort of imagine what the feeling is like. What is that? Because obviously it's so dangerous, and you know the risk yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
And people probably tell you the risks constantly.
Yeah. So it was a bit. To go back to it, it was a bit like when I started. So obviously, to build up to what you're doing, you know, you get yourself, you go into a circuit, you're nervous, but you're like, oh, what's a circuit? You know, you're all right. Yeah, you can get hurt. Yeah, you can have a run off. And going to the Southern for like the first time, that Monday, I have never been so scared in all my life.
Brown in your boxer shorts almost.
Massively. We got down there in the morning, dead excited. Massively excited to go. Then we had the chat show in the square. You know, I'm sat on there with Nathan Harrison. You know, you've got Mikey Evans. You know, you got all the local lads with you, Joe Yeardsley. And you're like, well, these boys are all geared up. You know, they've done it a couple times now and they're ready to go. And I'm on the stage chatting away. And then it was only when I got back to the paddock that I was a bit like, right, it's 2 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Road shut's 6. Mum's like, can you eat anything? No, I can't eat. The first day, I cannot eat. I will not eat anything all day.
Hell, you'd be ribs and dick by the end of that.
Honestly, I just can't do it. My body will not allow me to eat. Because you've got...
Nerves, like, or
massively. And I'm a bit of a bugger for it. I sit in the van, like, before you go out.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny because Immy asked me this question the other week. It was the pre-TT. There's like a little portable loo in the back of the van. It's just a van, but it's got a little portable loo because basically when I'm road racing, for some reason, can't stop going for a piss.
Really?
I cannot stop. I'll be stood in the holding area. I'm back in a minute, and I run down, and then I'll come back.
Wow.
Then they're like, there's another delay. Oh, I'm back in a minute. It's like my little nervous thing that I do.
Just your body's reaction almost.
Yeah.
Help yourself to some water, by the way.
Nice one. But yeah, so she always said to me, you know, when you're sat in the back of the van when you're getting ready, because I always get my levers and always sit there. She goes, "What are you thinking about?" I was a bit like,
That's interesting.
I was like, "Do you really want to know what I'm thinking about?" Yeah. And I don't care what anyone thinks about it.
Yeah.
This is how I cope with it.
Well, everyone copes it in their own way, don't
Yeah,
they?
deaf is what I think about.
Yeah.
You're sat in there.
But you actually hang on? But do you actually think about that consciously?
Not when you're riding, but I always do this before I go out.
Really?
All the time. You see everyone there, and you see, I always sit there at the back of the van. I'm like, could be the last time I see these.
Yeah. Overthinking it almost.
Yeah, and the reason I have this big thought about it. First night of practice last year. Newcomer. Dead giddy. Went out. Caught up with a load of lads just out of Church Bends, and I come through Great Meadow, and they were off the throttle. They were on the throttle, so I passed a few of them. I caught up with two lads. They were trying to outbrake themselves or each other into Castertown Corner, and I was like, hang on a second here. This is a controlled, lap. But basically, all of us went out at once. They weren't stopping us. That gate opened, and we literally all just woomph out the gate.
Did you get carried away?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It took me, I was going down Ballakegan for the first time, all dead giddy, and my brain still hasn't registered. I was on the left-hand side of the road. Yeah. And all I'm getting is, vroom, 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 and I'm like,
oh boy.
Oh, yeah, it took me till Church Bends. I remember coming out of Church Bends, and the thing I said was, this is fucking mental.
Yeah.
I was like, big grin then.
Yeah.
And we were going down the start and finish, and I overtook two lads because I just had this weird feeling. Everyone's dead close. And we got into Ballakegan Corner on the second of the controlled lap.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know any of this. So, obviously, funny enough, outside I got red flagged. Outside yours.
Really?
And I pulled in and I was like, are you checking that we know what a red flag is? Oh, no, there's been an incident.
Already?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was quite a big pile-up. A lad had come through, and the light and the sun in your eyes, it's hard work, especially coming down there. So obviously one lad's rolled off, but he's not fully seen he's rolled off, and unfortunately he rear-ended him.
Right, okay.
I was 2 bikes in front.
Yeah.
I was, and that...
Is that when it was at...
That was when it sort of clicked. So I got back, and my mate recorded it. Oof. And he sent me, he goes, you were close. I was like, no, I was nowhere near it. And then I watched the video, and I was like, wow, that's worrying.
But can you let it worry you though, Grant, if you want to take this, if you want to keep progressing? Are you going to have to really work on your mindset shift here?
No.
To try and work on how to deal with this sort of thing? Because it's going to be...
It's not
going to
eat
that. You up, innit?
No,
surely.
It doesn't. Literally, once I've sat in the van, I've had my little thought. I have a laugh. Mates come over, have a laugh and joke. I've forgotten about that. That doesn't bother me then. But my little thing of I think you've got to think about it to stay safe.
Okay, so then when you're in a race, but you're not thinking about it in the race, is that not then sort of like the safety's out the window?
No, because
you're wanting to win. Surely
you obviously want to win. 100%, you want to win, but you won't pass. You know your barrier. You know your barrier as a rider. You know, obviously, you can always go faster, but for me, especially as I'm still learning, I'll get to that point, but I will never push past it. If I think, oh, this is
twitchy bum,
yeah, I will pull it back a bit.
Hang on a second here. I just seen you in the pre-TT flying around in the wet,
yeah,
like a bloody cannon.
That there though was the best fun ever.
That was loose, mate. That was loose.
But I raced a lot of sorts like Derby. I've raced Derby in wetter conditions than that.
Do you recognise when things are getting carried away?
Yeah.
You're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Sort of on the cusp here.
I had it on the championship race on Thursday. Past here, over top of through Williams, over that rise. I thought, I'm on the big bike now, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm getting quicker and quicker here, we can go this. I hit that rise, and the wind caught. Both my feet got blown off the pegs.
Oh, boy. And
I had a tank slapper into blind dip.
Yeah, and that's not
nice.
And
I went, you can rein this in now. This is...
Whoa, boy.
This is
Whoa, boy.
This is mad. But you can always push past it, 100%. Like next lap I come through and I went, right, attack it, because it can sort of knock you back, and I did. I attacked every lap then.
Yeah.
You just gotta know within your limits.
A little bit of a humbling moment almost.
Yeah, a little bit like this will bite you if you don't respect it. So you've got to...
And that's what you're thinking when you go before you start and you sat there and then you're just like,
You've got to respect it. Like when I'm at Derby, I don't think anything like that.
Really?
You're going around a circuit. There's no walls to hit. Yeah, obviously you can still get hurt.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, if you're going to high side, you're going to land on your backside, are you? Or if you're going to lose the front, you're going to slide through the grass.
Yeah.
Whereas round here, you've got a Manx stone wall either side of you.
Pretty much the whole way round the Southern, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously one of the worst bits as well, curbs sticking out.
Yeah.
Curbs are bad, especially on your corner.
Apparently this corner's horrible to go around Whetstone corner.
Horrible. I thought the other day, I was like, I don't hit Whetstone for hard enough. I don't get it enough. And I got sent a video today on the big bike, and I was like,
you hit it hard enough.
I was doing all right.
So what's the problem with this corner then? Like, is it because the corner looks tight?
It's not.
Looks tighter than it is, so you're hitting the wrong apex. Or does this happen in other places around the island, like around the Southern Undercourse, for example?
A lot of bits catch you out
as a newcomer, because you were
as a newcomer,
still fresh, really, aren't you?
Yeah. So I found this one harder only because of how much the camber drops off the road.
Okay.
Driving in the car, you don't really see it. But when you're on a bike on the side of the tyre, and you're aiming for that curve on the inside, as you go over it, the bike drops away, and it's easy to lose the front.
Okay.
I had a mate lose the front through there, 22.
Really?
Smashed his femur to pieces. He's still recovering from it now.
Right.
And because I said, where'd you come off? And he goes, you know where you think it's a bush on the left at Whetstone? I went, yeah. He goes, there's a Manx stone wall behind that. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Noted.
But what do you, obviously as a young fella, or would you call yourself a young fella starting out, you're 2 or 3 years in? Are you talking to older heads or more experienced heads?
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Try and sort of,
So it's
more heads are better than one, obviously, aren't they? So if you've got a question about the course, a lad's sort of friendly and ask you sort of.
So like to start with, when I was being a newcomer, my boss, Si Fulton, he's backed me through everything that I've done so far. And he took me out for laps, and this is where you start learning, because he goes, went out for laps. I did a few laps with Paul Castey, Joe Yearsley. Him used to take me around for laps, and then he goes, I'm going to take you for some laps. So we started doing some laps, and obviously you hear about, you need to be here, you need to be there, you need to do this. No one actually tells you what will go wrong. So when I got in the car with my boss driving down, he goes, I'm going to give you the truth of it now. This is what can happen, and this will be the outcome.
Has he done it before, Si?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done it multiple times. He's won a Manx Grand Prix.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He's done the TT, so he's well knowledged in it all. And obviously, with it only being me and him at work, he needs me to come back from it all. So, but it's a little eye-opener with stuff like that. And the other night when I was struggling, Dean Harrison, Dean's obviously now living on the island. And, get on quite well with Dean. He's lives in Laxey, so I'm up there most of the time now, to be fair, up at Immy's. So
cruising.
But I had a few little issues, and I was struggling with little bits and that, and I collared him to one side after the first big bike race, and he said, try this on the 600, and then once you do it on the 600, when you get on the big bike, it'll work. And to be fair, it did. It's just little things and having the knowledge, and them boys are going around there at serious speed.
Jeez Louise,
serious speed.
You can see the difference actually sometimes, and it's experience, isn't it?
100%. Like I said to the boys the other day when I came in, they're like, is there anything you'd change? And my lap times, every lap we're going faster and faster. We beat every time I went out, I went faster. But I ended up on my own for a little bit. So when you're riding around on your own.
But are you alone in that helmet? Like, can you hear much? Because you got your plugs in, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, you can hear everything.
But
all I can
this
hear
is something that I want to ask, right? Not to interrupt you there, but when you're going round, do you ever get time to sort of daydream or think about anything other than where you're going next?
It's funny you talk about this, actually.
Because as someone who's never been round, it's a weird it's a weird feeling.
It's weird. You do switch off the odd time, like the pre-TT, when it was raining.
Yeah.
On the Friday night, I'd pulled a good gap. I didn't see anyone at all. On your Todd, like? I was on my Todd. I literally went out the front, and I was on my own. I come round through here, and I thought, what am I going to have for tea? But then you think like that, and then you go, oh, and then you're going into here, and you're like, you're trying to then get back in. There's the odd time your brain, cause you're human. Concentration levels, it's hard work.
It's probably something you have to work on too, isn't it?
100%. Like at the Southern, let's put it this way, I didn't think about what I was having for tea.
Yeah.
I was dialed in the whole time.
Talk me through a bit more about the Southern then this second time round.
So from the first
how did you approach it differently?
Well, I threw myself in the deep end, really.
Right, okay.
So after the pre-TT, Gus Turner, I own Bike Storage.
Right, okay.
You know,
shout out to him.
He lent me his Steely to ride, and then
just elaborate what Steely is.
so it's a 600 Honda steel frame. It's older than me. Let's put it
Right,
that
old
way.
girl, a bit of a
Old
chestnut.
girl. It's like turning the Ben McCree. But, you know,
steady away, boys.
It's good fun. And after that, he asked me, could you get a big bike entry? And I was like, well, maybe. Little problem, though. I don't have a big bike.
Yeah.
Find out if you can get one. I was like, all right, no worries. So went and spoke to Rachel Palmer, Southern Committee.
Aye.
And I said, what's the chances of getting a big bike entry? Yeah, no worries. I was like, all right. So bumped into Gus. I was like, I can get a big bike entry. He went out and bought me a big bike.
Oh, nice.
So I had a big bike to ride.
And big bike's 1000cc.
1000cc.
Yeah.
Which I rode for the first ever time I rode a big bike was the week before the Southern at Derby.
Oh, you'd never ridden 1000 before? Or
Was
1000 at the pre-T or no, just 600?
Just a 600 and a 750.
Right, okay.
I'd had a go. Funny enough, it was the bike that I'm on now that I had a go on at the start of 24. I did 3 laps, came in, handed it back and said, no, thank you.
Too much.
Scared the life out of me.
Was she like a rearing pony?
Oh, mate. She was trying to buck me off the side of it.
Yeehaw.
And I did not really fancy that. So when Gus said that, I was a bit like, you got to take the opportunities when they come. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then RPM Motorcycles, he then said to me, I've got you a Super Twin. So it's a 650 Super Twin.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, no worries. And then my 600, which is, massively sponsored by with FES and the People's Bike. The People's Bike came on board with me.
Interesting.
At the end of 23.
Are they Manx?
They are, yes.
That's good.
So they come on board. They basically bring newcomers through on the road race scene. So they came on with me. And obviously all my other sponsors that have massively helped. Without them it wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the Southern this year.
3 bloody bikes, boy.
3 bikes. So
that's a bit of a change.
I looked at the schedule. So it was the newcomers were going to go out, and then I was going to go straight out on the big bike. I was going to come in off the big bike. I was going to jump straight on the twin. And then the white plate 600s are out. I was on yellow this year.
What's the difference? So
basically one's like an A class and one's like a B class. So like
which is which?
A's yellow, B's white.
Okay.
It's just to try and split everyone up.
You don't want slow people in with fast people, I suppose.
They look at the times from last year and put the boys that need to be in that one in there. And obviously when we race, they do merge together, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But once I seen what I was doing, so I was going to go out on the 600. I was going to come straight back in, jump on the big bike, and then I was going to go out on the Super Twin. I was like, that's 3 back-to-back sessions there. I was like, all right, no worries. Morton Hall, Sunday night. Getting my kit and all scrutineered, getting everything ready to go. Chris Palmer pulls me to one side. Can I ask a favour? I was like, yeah, whatever. We take the newcomers round. I was like,
what? Why would they ask you?
I was like, I can. So there was me, Mikey Evans, Rob Hodson, Michael Sweeney, Nathan Harrison, Joe Yearsley. So it was after us all getting let out the year before, hell for leather.
Charging.
They split everybody up. You were not allowed to overtake us, boys. Right,
that's interesting how they put you. Why didn't they put you there as someone who's only their second year?
I don't know.
Relatability, maybe?
I think maybe like...
You know what they're going through. Recently you've been in their shoes, maybe?
Yeah, and I think what I did at last year's Southern and with the pre-TT, I've shown I've got pace round here and I know where I'm going. And, they just obviously asked me to do it, so...
That's good, mate. You gotta give yourself a pat on the back for
that.
that.
Do you know what? When I was stood in the holding area, I actually laughed, and Imi went, what, you laughing at? I went, a year ago today, that was me getting ready to go out on the.
I told you that I didn't turn it off. Bastard.
I was getting ready to go out. I was like, and now I'm leading them out. I was like, so a lot's happened in a year.
Surprising how, when you look back a year, like, it's not a long period, but so much can change.
Yeah, massively.
That's happened to me. It's like things are just changing, and like you say with your bikes, the opportunities are coming, and you're just like, well, what the hell do I do here?
Yeah,
where's the right route?
Yeah, and like things are already getting planned for next year, and I'm like, right, well, let's just finish this year off.
Yeah.
You know, but without all the backing off everyone, you know, it was a massive thing, and obviously to get brought in with it all, it's pretty good.
Bananas, mate. Really.
It sort of helped me out though, that doing take newcomers out. I'd never rode a Super Twin in my life ever.
Different gravy or no?
Slow, very slow.
Cruisy, almost too cruisy.
Yeah, like you could have a cup of tea while you jump off 1,000.
Yeah, that must be difficult, the old switcheroony.
Yeah, no, I've never done this. I've jumped off, like, when I was at Derby, I jumped off the big bike onto the 600 onto the Steely, which I rode at the Prix, because that's what I've been racing at Derby. Oh, I got on the 600 when I was at Derby, and I was like, whoa, this is slow. And then I got onto the Steely, which is even slower, and I was
running round.
Right, now this is slow. But it's all learning and stepping forward. So a Super Twin is slower than a 600. You know, it's only a twin cylinder, whereas a 600 is a 4-cylinder. The way I would have liked it round is, I would have liked it big bike 600 twin, but I went big bike twin 600.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it?
So I just jumped off the big bike and jumped straight on the Super Twin, and I was going down Ballackagan Straight for the first time going, this is broken. And I only got 2 time qualifying laps on it because we had a little issue with it after the newcomers laps. And then when I came in, I put it P8.
Yeah.
The lad that owns the bike was like, you've never rode it. How have you just done that? I was like, I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
Cruising.
But I did, but there is a problem. And he went, what? It's very slow. And he goes, you just jumped off and you know, 200 brake horsepower bike onto a bike with like 105 brake.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, yeah.
Massive difference.
We near enough lost 100 brake there.
But that's interesting though, Grant, because leading forwards now, obviously your preparations are getting exciting for the Manx, really.
Yeah.
To put it lightly, what did you sort of treat Southern 100 as a bit of a practice run?
Southern 100 was a bit of a rundown, really. I bought a new bike, new 600, so I'll be riding the 600 and the Super Twin at the Manx, because obviously you can't ride a big bike at the Manx.
Oh, really?
No.
I didn't know that.
So it's capped at 600 for what we're doing. So the new bike was a bit of a test round here to get a base setting, really, to see how far out we were, and to be fair, we weren't far out at all. I set the bike up at Derby. I did a few little tweaks up there to get it ready, and I did not touch, other than putting a new chain on it on the weekend before, I did not touch a single thing on that bike.
Right.
At all.
Right.
So
you have to Loctite everything and all.
Loctite, lock wire, mark. Your tyres have to be in date.
Yeah.
You got to have marks on. You got to have arrows on your wheel, so if people are changing tyres, they know which way the wheel goes.
Right, okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot to do.
So then how does that then lead you up to the Manx? Like, talk me through a little bit about how you're approaching the Manx Grand Prix. Now you've done the Southern, but how you're approaching it in a different way, because obviously it's, how would you call it, 20 times the size of the Southern?
Yeah, well, so like now, obviously this is where it's at. I'm at Derby this weekend, so it's kind of hard to get bits ready, but after this weekend, every night in the week now, we'll be at home, because I've got 2 600s, so they'll both be stripped down to the frame.
Right, okay.
And built back up.
Do you do it yourself?
I do, yeah. So I literally do it for myself. I'm a car mechanic by trade. I finish work, I go home, I'm in the garage all night. It's hard work.
Yeah.
But I now need to make sure that, like, I had a little thing on the new bike at the Southern, like something simple, the foot peg, the bolt behind the foot peg had come loose on the first 600 race, yeah. But because it come loose and I've been standing on it, like you use the pegs, like I steer with my feet basically all the way through. I put a lot of power through it.
How bizarre is that?
Very. If you ever look at one of my bikes, the foot pegs are bent back because I put that much force through my foot pegs. And basically what happened is the bolt had wound itself off a little bit, and I just
Right.
stood on it.
Yeah.
Foot peg was bent down here.
Shit.
So I had to do 4 laps around here with the bent foot peg, not really being able to change gear.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd fancy that.
No.
But what would happen then if that happened at the Manx, for example?
Well,
And you recognise when you get to, I don't know, Crosby, that your peg's bent, but you've got another, I don't know, 15 minutes left to go on the bike.
you're done.
Are you gonna? Would you pull in? Is that your sort of breaking point? Is it?
I can't say yeah because I did 4 laps around here with it like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm a bit like, okay,
I think it would be.
buddy.
I think it would be like the last lap. I would try my hardest to get it back. I would go to the point where I'd be like, but then I wouldn't want it to fall off in the middle of the track because
then it's gonna hit someone. Might hit someone else, eh?
if someone comes through and it's lying in the middle of the track and they hit it, and
Could you get a penalty for that?
no, unfortunately, it's just the part of racing.
Shit happens.
Yeah, but
when you're revving yourself up now for the Manx, you know your first lap round there. Have you sort of thought how you want it to go?
it's a long week. You know, we've got.
Is it only 1 week?
So we got practice week. So we get the first practice week because they put it back to 2 weeks now. But the way that the schedule works, it's kind of weird. So Sunday is our first practice. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are just Manx Grand Prix competitors. So that's the 600s and the Super Twins. Wednesday, then they bring in the Classic TT. So you'll get all the boys in the 750s. So you'll have Michael Dunlop. You know, we'll have all the top
really? Are they
boys
allowed
in.
to come round to it?
Yeah, they'll be in. So I'll have had 3 days of riding, like learning.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they merge the sessions together. So they call it the senior and the junior. So the junior is the Super Twins and the senior is the 600.
Right.
And then they get like obviously the lightweight class and then the classic superbike class on the older stuff. So I'll be out of all them boys.
Yeah, that's.
Sessions.
Do you reckon that first lap round you're going to be cruising over the mountain and you're just going to enjoy it?
Well, you get that controlled lap anyway.
Yeah.
Which
Just going to be
just
going
gonna
over
be
there and be like, right,
learning, see
taking
where
it
I'm
all
going, take it all in, and enjoy it. And then basically you come back into the holding area, and then it's have fun,
Yeah, let rip.
enjoy. It's like
How are you going to approach the learning phase then? Are you gonna go like as a young fella? How old are you, Grant?
28.
You're still young, really.
Yeah.
Are you gonna just let rip, or
No.
are you just gonna you tell yourself to just cruise,
You
stick behind someone, and just
I sort of learn like I would never stick behind a newcomer
right?
because you're in the same boat.
Yeah, no
Like
point.
the
is
only
there?
benefit, like we have, like there's 6 of us Manx lads that are now newcomers this year, which is mega.
So talk me through them names.
So there's me, Sam Norton, Wayne Avis, Luke Blevins, Blake Kelly, and Dale Brew. So
Right. And what have you had to do to get to that point?
so you obviously have to get onto your signatures and everything like that, and you got to start on your novice, onto your clubman. So you have to get 10 signatures on your novice, 10 signatures on your clubman.
What's novice?
So
Novice is little tracks.
no, so it's anything. So it's just what license grade you're on. So you're
Oh,
still
okay.
racing, but you're like, so you got to wear a bib. You've got to wear a bib when you start.
Yeah.
So you're novice, you're on your bib until you've done your 10 races, which you have to do 3 circuits. So we can do clockwise and anti-clockwise at Derby,
Yeah.
but we have to go away to do the 3rd circuit.
Okay.
And then you finish that, then you start your clubman license. Then you have to finish in a percentage of the race leaders. So you can't, so whereas in your novice, you can just get a signature when you finish the race.
Yeah.
Then you have to move on to percentages.
So what,
Which-
top 10 or something?
Yeah,
top
so whatever the race
15%.
leader does, you have to be in like 110% of it, which it catches people out. Then you obviously go on to your national, which is what I'm on now, which allows me to go to the Southern. But before you can have a mountain course license, you have to hold that national license for 12 months.
So you did a year last year, essentially, to
Yeah.
now.
To now, when
And then
I'm
you
able
just
to go-
qualified by 6 weeks or whatever, for 4 weeks to get to the Manx.
Yeah, so basically, well, I got my national, so I did it all in a year, you see. I crammed everything in. So I was on my national at the end of my first year racing.
Right, okay.
So I knew that the following year, at the end of that, I would be safe for the Manx to
Yeah.
get in.
Right, that makes sense.
So it's quite a confusing little
Yeah, that is
process.
quite confusing. But does the Isle of Man help you at all? Like, obviously, with the Isle of Man being one of the hubs of road racing across the world, in your opinion, does that feel like you guys are supported as young fellas coming through? Like,
I think it gives you a bit of, backing with it, and it definitely gives you knowledge of the track, 100%. Especially going road racing.
Yeah.
When we were on that newcomers weekend and we were driving around and boys were asking me where we were, and I'm like, we're listening to the instructor when we're going around doing the laps, but that's what they said as a Manx lad, the benefit you have because you've grown up here and you've been around these roads many times, you know what's around the corner.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas you say you've come from America to here for the first time. Gorsley.
Yeah.
Gorsley. You go flat out through Gorsley to Ballacrane. They don't know you can go flat through there.
But do you think that actually holds you to some disadvantage in a certain way as well? Because you're used to going around on the left side of the road. To
get your head around road racing, like I said when I did the Southern, and you go down the left hand side of the road, it takes your brain a little bit of time to switch over. But now, because we've obviously done the Southern, the pre-TT and the Southern again, I don't think in my head it'll be like, oh, sit here, I will be able to just
cruise,
use it as a track now.
I'm just letting that sink in for a second because it's a strange bloody thought that.
It's massive.
Yeah, and with 6, how good is it that 6 Manx young lads are going in?
Massive.
It seems to be a massive influx lately, and what do you think the reason for that is? What's the uptake all of a sudden? You got yourself and a few lads around your age, Jamie Kringle, Ryan Kringle as well. They were motocrossing with you at one point, weren't they?
And then you got Marcus Simpson, Joe Yeardsley.
Yeah, exactly.
They've all.
What's the influx? Do you think? What's caused that?
I don't know. Obviously, Jamie did the TT first. He did it in 22.
Out of that group of lads?
Yeah, he was the first one to do it. I've always been gutted that I couldn't do it. You see, you go, I want to do
Giving
that.
Yourself a little twitch.
Come on. And then the year after, Ryan did it. And then Marcus and Joe did the Manx Grand Prix win, 1 and 2 on the podium.
Bing, bing.
Yeah, and Dave Rigby, he was in there that year. And then last year, there was only one Manx newcomer, Damien Crook. And then this year, 6 of us.
But what do you think the reason is for it, Grant?
I think they're just trying to bring more people into it. I think they're trying to get everyone.
But so is that the Isle of Man helping?
Yeah, I think they want to try and support more of us through it, 100%. They're trying to bring us through because I don't know about you, but when you hear that podium in the UK national anthem, it's like, come on,
Christ!
Let's have it. Someone needs to. Someone needs to do it.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last Manx winner of the TT? Was it Milky Quail?
Yeah, I think it was. Milky.
I have a feeling it was Milky Quail.
Yeah.
Which is a long time ago. So we're probably due with so many coming up through. One of us have to be able to do it.
One of us got to do it.
Which is exciting, really.
It is good, and it was funny because I had this conversation with all not long ago. We race at Derby, and then all of a sudden we're all going to be racing against each other on the roads.
Yeah.
Like the TT this year.
Marcus, Joe,
Jamie. Ryan didn't make it. Ryan had a supermoto crash just before it and broke his back, so he missed out on TT. But on the start numbers, it was going to be Nathan, Ryan.
Oh shit! Yeah, Nathan as well.
Mikey, Evans. I think Joe wasn't far back on that. You've got all the Manx lads pretty much in a row.
Yeah. And you're all mates, but probably competitive as hell as well.
Oh, massively. Everyone wants to win. 100%. As soon as you throw your leg over that, it's like, nah.
No friends in racing, like, is it?
Unfortunately not.
So what's next for Grant Thomson? What's next when you see, obviously, Manx Grand Prix is coming up, but where do you see yourself? I'm interested in long term here. Like what we talk. Where's the end point for you? When do you know that you are all right? This is where I've reached my goal. What are your sort of 5-year goals, so to speak, or 3-year goals? Maybe a bit close to them.
Obviously, I want to do TT. That's definitely where I want to be. I want to be in the TT, and there's talk of that next year already.
How would you go? So you have to win a Manx Grand Prix, or
no? I could have gone to TT this year if I wanted, but I had a 3-year plan in my head.
Right, that's probably wise.
To do my novice and clubman license all in a year, to do my first road race at the Southern, and then I was going to the Manx Grand Prix. I was always going to the Manx. I was never going straight to TT. Obviously, I want to have a go at winning the Manx.
Yeah. See how it goes.
See how it goes. You can't write a book on it. Unfortunately, we might only get a couple laps in a week. We might not. We might have loads of laps, and I might gel with it all right. But
you've never been round it before.
Never been round it, so it's still learning. And then the goal is obviously to win a TT.
Is that the end goal?
That is the goal. I want to win a TT, and potentially ride for a team. You know.
Oh, so is that more of a 5-year plan then? 3-year plan?
I don't even think you can give it a year plan. You know, look at Jamie Kringle, did very well this year. Got onto the Bathams bike. You know, that was a massive step up for him.
Oh boy, yeah, totally. You got big support there. Like,
massive support, and you know, it's you can't always think, well, I'll do this and this time and this and that time. You know, it might never fall to that point. So it's just going to be. I suppose
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, you can't go right within 5 years. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. It might never happen. I had my 3-year plan on what I did. And so far, you know, I won a B race last year, the 700. You know, I did the double at the pre-TT this year.
Yeah.
I had my first top 10 finish in the 600 class this year at the 700. I was 13th on the big bike, you know, and
you're making moves, aren't you,
we're
in the right direction?
Slowly, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't. You've just got to take your time, learn what you're doing, and enjoy it from there.
And does your love for the Isle of Man really sort of come through the road racing in a sense, because it's such a big deal here?
Yeah.
Your 5-year plan realistically is all built around the Isle
of
Man, isn't it?
It is. It's here. It is here. You know, I've had a few boys say, "Would you go over and do like Scarborough or Tandragee?" No, not interested. Just want to race here. That's all I want to do. And you know, growing up here, you know yourself, growing up here is from the day you were born to now. It's I could never leave.
No, you get addicted to the place.
Everyone always says, you know, I hear people going, I can't wait to go. You would never, ever catch me live anywhere else but here.
I really like that, Grant. That's actually a really good way to start wrapping this up. But a true Manxman who's passionate about the place and wants to ride bikes around the island, that I mean, if you won a TT, mate, that would be mega.
There'd be some celebration.
I'd come and join you.
I'll tell you what, my head would be as sore as it was yesterday morning.
You'd be running around the blooming course nude, knowing you. Yeah. I'd be joining both running around.
Yeah, if you know yourself, I love it.
It's a Manx man's dream, isn't it?
If I stay at my house down south on Gansey, literally, I walk out the front door, there's Portsmouth Bay. I've got literally step across the road, I'm on the beach. If I'm at Immy's and Laxey, walk out the door, you look over the top of the hills down into Laxey Beach again, and then you leave the drive and you look up and you can see the top of Snaefell, and you know, I love it here. You will never ever catch me leaving.
Yeah, a Manxman through and through, and that's a nice sort of way to start round this up, Grant. Personally, I think you're making moves, and obviously, like you say, you've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. Still green, would you say, or fresh?
Yeah,
fresh on the scene.
Still learning, you know. I'm still under the radar, but people are, you know, starting to talk and starting to think.
There's Thomson piping up there.
Yeah, so it's just doing what I'm doing, chipping off everything I can, keeping myself out of danger, and having fun.
Voila. And that leads us nicely onto our final question of the podcast. So we do this question every time, and I don't give you any pre-warning, but if you've listened to a few, you might know it. And obviously talking so greatly about the Isle of Man, the question is, if you could change or improve something about the Isle of Man, what would it be and why? Now, this take a second to think about it, but this question is to try and bring positivity through the Isle of Man, because people say, "Oh, I want more here on the Isle of Man."
Yeah.
Well, what do you want, and why do you want it?
I know exactly what I want.
What do you want?
100%. So, little things like, for an island that is so driven off motorsport, for like the off-road side of stuff, like used to have Russian mines, used to have Laxey mines.
Okay, this is going down a weird road, right?
Everything like that. There's not places to let young lads like we were pursue what they want to do. You can't just buy a kid now a motocross bike and go take them somewhere to learn how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
You got to have permission. You can't just go to like the mines. You can't do anything like that. And it always annoyed me with stuff like that, because we were always told by the government they were going to find us a new place and open up a new place.
Do you mean somewhere free for Manx people so you can nurture the Manx bike? Because it's such a big culture, the bike.
It's a massive community.
To nurture it up, somewhere free to nurture it up.
There you are, have fun. You can all go do what you want, and it'll bring everybody through.
Well, it needs someone who's someone at the front of that to drive it forwards, because if you have somewhere free like the mines, it has to be respected, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there has to be sort of a couple of people who are like, listen, we'll manage it to a degree, free reign, but you police it yourselves to a certain degree.
Yeah. And it would be a massive thing to see, you know, little kids going out. You know, it's nice to see kids starting off and stuff, but they've got nowhere to practice, and that's the only thing I would change.
Amen.
Because that is
I agree
close
with you.
to me. It's
Yeah,
close
no,
to me
I
on
agree
that,
with
and I'm
you.
like, that's the only thing I would change. Other than that,
Love
it's
the
a great
place.
atmosphere. Lots of beer to be drinking when there's no racing going on.
What did they say? The Alabama is just an old saying, a bunch of alcoholics clinging to a rock or something like that.
Literally that. Literally that. If you'd have seen me Thursday night boogie away in Castletown Square, you'd have seen that.
How good was that drone show?
Mate,
Mega.
I didn't even know it was on. I woke up Friday morning, I'm like, what's all this?
Yeah.
I was on the front of Mum. She goes, oh, did you go to the drone show? And I went, what drone show? She goes, did you not hear them announce it? I was like, oh, no.
Couple too many beers.
Obviously not. By that, before I'd even left the paddock, I was about 6 pints deep.
Yeah.
And
Cruising away,
and
happy days.
Don't even remember going up on the stage. So the drone show was definitely not happening.
Written off. That's a great way to sort of rein this in. Thanks very much, Grant. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on here. Before we turn off, is there anyone you want to shout out? Socials, anyone where people can find you? Facebook, Instagram. I don't know what you have off the top of my head.
On my Grant Thomson Racing on Facebook, that's on there, so you can keep up to date. You know, I post every time we're out or when we're building up to an event, and like the Southern and that, you'll get a daily roundup of what's going on, and obviously all the people that supported me, you know, the sponsors and my family and, you know, my girlfriend. You know, without you all, you know, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no. Amen. Thank you very much, Grant. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
And you.
Cheers, Herb. Happy days, man. How did you feel that way?